Hello, this is Rob the Deep Fryer here for Boardwalk Game Time, and today I'm going to be reviewing the game Dragon Punch. Dragon Punch is a two-player game that's designed for just a quick round of head-to-head martial arts combat that can fit in your pocket. Dragon Punch uniquely comes inside of a wallet instead of a box, and so it opens up like this. And inside you can see there's 3 pouches, and on the 2 side pouches there are identical move cards, and on the center pouch I'm keeping the instructions as well as the character cards. So I'll just take these out, show them to you. The character cards are very loosely based on Street Fighter characters. These 3 are most reminiscent of Street Fighter characters, but each player gets to pick one character card to add to their deck, and so today I'll pick this burly fellow and just put the other cards over here. So you have your character card and then your 6 moves here, which you can look at, and each one of the moves does something different. There's one defensive move, and then there's a throw, and then there's different kinds of attacks. And so what you do is during each one of your turns you look at one of your cards that you want to play against your opponent. You pick one and you show you've picked it by going like this, and you show them the back of your deck, and then you count down 1, 2, 3, go, and then you show what kind of attack you're using. So I chose a fireball here, and let's just say that my opponent had chosen a high kick. And what you do is you compare to see where the attacks are going and whose attack is faster. So my fireball with a 2, it's by lowest number, is a little bit faster than the high kick, and so my attack would score and I would do 1 damage. That's the number that's what's in that little fireball thing there. Now the damage keeping is very interesting in this game. What you do is whenever you take damage, you choose one of your attacks and you flip it over so that the red side goes up. And the thing that's interesting about that is that whenever you flip a card over, you actually modify and upgrade how it works. So with this card, you take your block card, and when you turn it over, it becomes charge. And so what happens is that if you successfully block your opponent and you deal an attack the next turn, you actually do more damage with it. Similarly with the throw here, when you upgrade it, it becomes the Atom Smasher and actually does more damage. So one of the interesting dynamics of this game is that the more you're beating your opponent, the more dangerous they become because their moves become a little bit more complicated. So what happens is you just play working through your attacks until you run out of attacks. So every time you use an attack, let's say I used a throw here, you turn it over and you put it pointing towards your opponent, and that way you actually can only use each one of your cards once until you recharge them by using a taunt here. When you use the taunt, you're allowed to flip over all your cards that you've already used. And one of the things that does is it complicates the strategy because your opponent knows that you can only use each one of your attacks once, and so the more rounds you play without using the taunt, the more your opponent knows what you can and can't do to defend yourself. So that kind of increases the level of sophistication of the game. However, you can turn around and kind of anticipate what they're going to do to you because of your lack of moves. But you can use a taunt, which does nothing unless you upgrade it, and then you actually get an evasion, a low evasion. And then when you use that, you get all your abilities back. And what you do is you just keep going round after round until all of one of the player's cards are turned red side up like this. And once that last red card goes up, you're defeated. And then you're supposed to play this 3 rounds until somebody's won twice, and then that is game over. There are 2 things that I really appreciate about Dragon Punch. Number 1 is that it's intended to be a quick, fun game, and it is. It's kind of like playing paper, rock, scissors, but with both hands. You can do it quickly, it's intense, and the main part of the game is trying to anticipate what your opponent might do and outguess them to take them out. And so they've done a really good job of this. The rounds really only take a couple of minutes, but you are thinking carefully about every move you make. And so that's all you would really want. This game is not trying to be a Dominion. It's not trying to be some huge, expansive, like Axis and Allies types game. It's meant to be a quick thing that you can do when you have a break with a friend. The other thing that I really appreciate about the game is its overall execution. How does the team that designed this fulfill their idea, their concept? This game is meant to be like an homage to old two-person side-by-side fighting games, and especially the Street Fighter series. And so this game does a great job of giving you the feel of a Street Fighter fight in a board game. The rounds are quick, just like in Street Fighter. You've picked your battle characters that have a few special moves, just like in Street Fighter. And also that whole concept of when you take damage, your moves improving is also captured in many of the Street Fighter games as the games progress. You increase in power and are able to unleash more powerful moves. So there's lots and lots of the video game that are captured in the board game. So I think that's really important to me. They did a good job of thinking through how to do this. I also think that the whole idea of tracking the damage you take by flipping over your attack cards is genius. It's a way of incorporating how the game is progressing that also changes and improves the game. You're not just kind of counting or writing down numbers or moving coins around. You're actually changing the dynamics of the game as the game gets closer and closer to having the round finish. For me, that's brilliant. And it really, it's something you can imagine in a street fight. The more hits you take, the more kind of desperate you get, and the more you're willing to push through to try to win the fight. So I think that's just a brilliant way of incorporating the theme into the game. And so the execution of this game is really, really well done. So that gets full marks for me. It accomplishes the thematic mission here. If there's anything that I kind of thought was lacking here is two things. Number one, the game is artistically a little hungry. There's like 5 pictures of the different characters, and they use that a few different times, but it seems like they could have used a little bit more artwork and put it on. Maybe even the move cards could have each had their own piece of artwork, which would have just enriched the purchase of this game and playing it. And the other thing is, I cannot find any of the character cards having a name. To me, they're inexplicably nameless, which just doesn't make sense. So when I'm playing with somebody and we're trying to decide which character we're going to be, we're kind of left just describing the moves that they make, which is bizarre. Overall, this game is designed to be just quick, fun, little street battle, and that's exactly what it is. They put it in a wallet instead of a box, so you can just shove it in your pocket, and if you want to have a street fight with somebody, you just take it out and say, hey, want to fight? It's a brilliant execution on an idea, and the price is great. So if this is something that would interest you, I would definitely recommend it. My name's Rob. I'm here for Boardwalk Game Time. I hope you will check us out, and if you're in the neighborhood, that you will come and join us. We are a casual board game league that gets together just to enjoy gaming and build some relationships and have fun. See you next time on Boardwalk Game Time.